Hey, this is Trent from Summerhays Music. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about trumpet maintenance. And so you can see that I got a couple different trumpets here. And I've got some silver trumpets here, as well as a normal lacquer trumpet, and then an unfinished trumpet, which looks pretty sweet. And because of the different finishes, they're going to be handled a little bit differently. So you can see that I've got a little repair kit here, and you can find that in pretty much any music store, and they'll have a little collection of things that you can use to take care of your trumpet. And so I'll kind of go through and explain things as I go. First things first, because of the different finishes, they're going to have to be able to be handled differently. And so with the normal lacquered trumpet, you can just have a normal polishing cloth. They generally do come in the little kits. And you would just rub it on just like any other kind of thing that you're polishing. It's pretty simple. Just get rid of all the fingerprints, all the grime and things like that. So that's pretty simple. Now, because of the silver is a little bit different, the difference is it tarnishes. And so you can see little brown marks on the sides, and you can get fingerprints a whole lot easier. And so you can take a polishing cloth and get rid of the fingerprints, but if you really want to get rid of the tarnish, you're gonna need some silver trumpet polishing cloths. And the difference is, this one just has a little bit of powder on it that just reacts a little bit differently with the tarnish and gets it off a little bit easier. So, and that generally just comes in a kit, or you can just find it just by looking for silver trumpet polishing cloth. But same kind of idea is you would just rub it on just like a normal polishing cloth. And if you do need to get in between those little things, you can rip it. So you have a little cloth and kind of do a little shoe shine action, and get in between all the different valves. So that's a pretty good way that you can polish your trumpet. Some other daily maintenance tasks is sometimes your valves can get really sticky. And so you can see they don't either come up all the way, or they're really sluggish. That one's kind of rough. And so what you would do is you would just take the top here and unscrew it, just like a normal screw. Pretty simple, lefty-loosey. And you pull it out here. And don't worry, it's not a bomb or anything. And so we got it right here, and you can see that you got some holes and things on the side. So you take your valve oil and just apply a couple drops on the side. I'd probably do 2 or 3 drops depending on how sticky it is. And once you're done with that, then you would drop it back in. Make sure, if you look at each of the valves, they're gonna have a little number on the middle there. And you wanna make sure those numbers are facing you as the player. Another way you can tell is if you jiggle it, if you just turn it side to side, you can hear the little click. And that way you know that it's good, and that way when you try to play, it'll just go straight through, it'll play just fine. You know your valves are in backwards if you try to play and there's literally no air that can go through the trumpet. That's a problem. So just make sure that your valves, all the numbers are facing towards you, and you're good to go. Other than that, you do have a couple different slides that you can, if they do get a little sluggish as well. This one feels pretty good, but what you would do is just take this off. Make sure there's usually a screw on the bottom here. It's called a stopper screw, and that just stops it from coming out. You pull it out, and what you would do is then you would take this slide grease, right here, just take a little bit with your finger and just apply a little bit right here on the sides where the inside of the valve would be. And once you get it on there, then slide this back on, just like that, and screw back in the screw, so that way when you try and pull it out, it should stop it, just like that. And then the last little bit of care is maybe about every 6 months or so, you give it a little bath, which could be kind of fun for you. What you would do is you would take out all the valves. So you have one here, one on the side here, and especially you have this tuning valve right here. and you just pull that out. And then you would take a tube snake like this and make sure you get through this part especially. And if you want to do a deep clean, then I'd pull out these valves and make sure that you can get in between all of them. There's some places that you can't really get, like this half right here, but you get as much as you can. You put it in cold water. If you put it in warm water, then it will get rid of your finish, and that would kind of ruin your trumpet, so don't do that. But put it in just normal cold water in like your bathtub or something. You don't need any soap or anything like that. Just cold water, and then get the brush and either swab it out through here, or you have these little handy dandy brushes. You can go in, you can also get inside the valves, how we took this out. Took it out and then get that in there as well and get it out really well. Make sure when you give it a bath that the valves are out as well. They have little felts in them and it would ruin it if you put it in the bath. And you probably only need to do that about every 6 months or so. Other than that, your trumpet should be great. But yeah, if you have any questions, just let us know, and we'll see you next week.